everybody, welcome back to Kruse Control. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. It's a new day. There's a lot to talk about. I am your host, as always, Brian Kruse, joining you here again tonight. Thank you for being here on Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. And joining me again, as always, is Miss... she's not there, actually, so I'm going to go to my host first. My guest joining us back here again is Jake SLONECKI. Jake, welcome back to the program. How you doing tonight, Jake?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Tuesday. How's your week been so far?
It's been slow but busy in a weird way. You know, like when things are slower, you tend to find other things to do, and then you just kind of get wrapped up, and then before you know it, the day is over.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it's been.
I think that's just life as we get older too. It just seems like the day is done before you know it. Like you wake up, you take a shit, and then it's nighttime. You know.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the game.
3, and the day is done. But it's it's been a nice day so far. It's Tuesday, like I said. It's like the last day of the month. We've been pushing this whole thing about subscribers. Everybody, we're at 96. We need 4 more to make it, and we'll get at that 100. 100 mark is like right there, pretty much, everybody. So please just help us subscribe, join the channel, support Kruse Control, because we got a lot of great stuff to talk about here with some great people like Mr. SLONECKI here from Citizen Skull, manager for all the fans out there. Citizen Skull, Jake is your man.
Thank you.
Anyways, I don't know. I think we're having some issues with Sabrina right now. So I think what I'm going to do is just jump into some breaking news, and then we'll kind of go from there. Then hopefully Sabrina will be good. I don't know what's going on.
Your speakers are playing music or playing the show 5 minutes later over here, and I don't know how to shut it off.
Oh, there's a YouTube open somewhere. Oh, my computer.
Yeah, it's not me. I don't know what to do, and I can't shut it off.
Just hold the power button on the computer and let it go. All right. Yeah, technical things, guys. It just happens. Thank you for being here, everybody. I don't know who's here in the comments right now, but we got GR. GR, welcome back. As always, thanks for being here tonight. I don't know what's going on, computer stuff over in the other room with Sabrina, but we're going to jump into some breaking news, and hopefully she'll figure it out at that point. Like I said, it's been a day, so here we go. Now it's time for some breaking news. Yeah! All right. We're going to jump into some breaking news today about what's happening in the entertainment industry before we get into our discussion pieces, as we always do here on Kruse Control. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is Tobey Maguire. Now, Tobey Maguire, we all know him from a million movies, but Spider-Man is what I want to talk about right now. So Tobey Maguire said, yes, he will do another Spider-Man movie. He says if he gets the opportunity, why wouldn't he? He loves it. He loves goofing around, putting the suit on, and running some Spider-Man scenes. So if there's a chance to be Spider-Man again, he says yes. Why would he not do that? Well, he says yes. Sylvester Stallone says no. No. He did not tell Pamela Anderson that she could be his number one girl and he'd pay her with a Porsche if she would be his number one girl. He said that was a complete fabrication. No, that did not happen. He denies it constantly. I mean, who knows if it's true? That's what Pam Anderson says, Stallone. That's all I'm saying. So he says no. Well, you know what? Paramount says yes to a Bad Boys 4. That's right. Bad Boys 4 is happening, everybody. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence announced it today, that little video where they got together and like, Bad Boys, what you going to do? Coming back they want to call it Bad Boys for Life. But the problem is they did Bad Boys for Life for the third one, and they were joking about that in their video, but it doesn't really work. You can't do it twice, guys. So anyways, they're saying yes to Bad Boys 4. Well, Hulu is saying no to the show The Reboot. So the show The Reboot's been on there for 1 season. They've done 8 episodes. It debuted September 20th, 22. And it's about, it's really just writers creating a TV show. And they're like, what are we going to do? Let's reboot this TV show that was popular. Like, seriously, so meta. So anyways, they did 1 season, and they said, hell no, we're not doing it. Hulu said, we're canceling that shit. Sorry, guys. Hopefully it was a good show. If you liked it, it's unfortunate news for you, but it is going away. And as they say no, the fans say yes. Wakanda Forever is debuting on Disney Plus tonight. If you're on the East Coast at 3 a.m., if you're on the West Coast at midnight, you can watch Wakanda Forever. Now, if you haven't seen it before, you get a chance to check this great movie out. If you have seen it, maybe you want to watch it again. This is your opportunity to do so because now it will be streaming on Paramount, Disney Plus, on Disney Plus tonight. And as the fans say yes, well, Showtime says no to Three Women, the series they've been working on for years. It was supposed to come out in 22. I think it was like fall of 22. They shot the whole thing with Shailene Woodley, and now it's been ramping up. They had a teaser come out. This show's coming. Not happening. Showtime's like, we're not going to do that. Shailene Woodley, Betty Glippin, and DeWanda Wise were all part of this whole show, and it was an intimate, haunting portrayal of American women's desires, I guess. But apparently it's not happening. Now they're going to try to shop it around again. Now this comes down to some more news we're going to get into later in the program about Paramount Plus, but we'll get into that a little later, and Showtime. But as they say no to this, now this is a funny one I saw, and I was like, is this serious right now? I guess it is very, very serious that Legendary Films is saying yes to Danny and the Dinosaur. Now, this is a cartoon from like the 1950s about a boy who meets a dinosaur in a museum and they become best friends and they have hijinks and they go on adventures. I guess it sold like more than 11 million copies in 12 different languages. So it's a very popular kids show or kids comic or kids children's story. But it's become a feature film now, everybody. So if you're a fan of Danny the Dinosaur and your kids love it or you loved it as a kid, well, a feature is coming. And as we say yes to that, Dave Bautista says no to Bane. That's right. He's saying that he's done with Bane. He's gonna give up on it, I should say. Originally, he had a meeting back with Warner Brothers back in 2021 where he was like, I want to be Bane. I'm perfect for Bane. Make me Bane. And they're like, we're not casting Bane, Dave. He's like, make me Bane. Well, now James Gunn's taken over. It's a whole new thing. 15, it's like, he's like, they have a whole 15-year plan. He goes, he thinks he'd be too old at that point. So why would he do that? And he just thinks get somebody younger for Bane. But then again, he said he loved to play the character. So I think that it could come around. You never know. You never know. I mean, he's 54 right now. So he says he's too old for it. But somebody else that's 54 that's in the news that's still rocking and rolling is Will Smith. Some more. I'm going to tell everybody, Will Smith is coming back as the genie. That's right. We're going to get an Aladdin 2. That shit's happening. Aladdin 2 with Will Smith. And Disney's saying yes to Will Smith. We're not going to cancel him after Slapageddon. We're not going to do that. We're going to give him another chance. He's coming back. He's going to have even a bigger part in Aladdin 2. So if you guys were fans of the remake of Aladdin, hey, Rachel, how you doing tonight? If you're fans of the remake of Aladdin, well, a second one is coming. And if you liked Will Smith, I still personally love Robin Williams. But if you liked Will Smith, you're going to get more and more and more of the genie getting jiggy with it. So now that we got Sabrina back here. Sabrina, welcome to the program. Sorry about the technical stuff. How you doing tonight?
Great. How are you?
So the computer was playing that happened to me one time too. A different computer was playing the podcast at the same time.
It's just there was a delay, so I didn't want to put my mic on because I thought it would be very strange.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, who's asking for that? Lexi's asking probably about the Aladdin thing, but yeah,
I would like to know too.
What do you think about Will Smith though, Sabrina? What do you think about Will Smith and Disney giving him another chance and bringing him back in and being Aladdin again? And were you a fan of his, or being, I should say, the genie? Now, are you a fan of his genie?
I was not. I was a big fan of the actual Aladdin, when I was younger, the cartoon with obviously Robin Williams. I don't know why you're making live action Lion Kings and live action Aladdins, like live action Little Mermaids. Like, leave it the fuck alone. It was a very good cartoon. That's what it's for. That's what you do. Like, what? Just stop. And not that I have anything against Will Smith, but it was abysmal. I can't. It was actually painful for me to watch. And that girl from Saturday Night Live was Jasmine's like friend that wasn't actually in the cartoon. It was just stupid. The whole thing was stupid. I thought it was terrible. I know you liked it. I thought it was terrible.
I think that fan was the friend was a bad choice. Like, why are we making a new character here? It doesn't make sense to me. I just thought that I didn't think he was horrible as a genie. It's a different kind of thing. It's not Robin Williams. Of course, he's doing more of the Fresh Prince thing with it. He's getting jiggy with it, like I said. And I think it worked for what it was. Again, I don't know. Again, they've tried to do other Aladdins, the cartoons, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar. They did the whole, the third one about the thieves, the Prince of Thieves with his dad. I don't know if they're going to kind of play off that with a new one or not. I don't know what the movie will be like, but hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's better than those remakes. Jake, did you hear about this? And what do you think about Aladdin and Will Smith coming back to be the big blue guy again?
I never watched the other one. I'm
Oh, you
with
never
Sabrina
saw
on
it?
this. No, I like the cartoon. I'm not gonna watch the live action. I mean, like,
you
how
weren't
do you,
giving it a
is,
chance?
like, what?
You didn't even give it a chance? Come on, why
No,
not? See what happens. This
no,
guy
I
Richie,
could watch it.
so he does
I'll give it a
some
shot.
great stuff.
Don't. It's stupid.
Don't watch it. It's stupid.
No,
Okay.
it's terrible.
Well, if the thing is about that movie is if you look
What
back
if we
at your
did like
childhood,
a group watch where we could all watch it together?
I don't think
no
she'll
one wants
watch
to watch
it
it
again.
with me. I'll talk shit about it the whole entire time.
I don't think she'll watch it again.
I won't. I was so upset the whole time. The whole movie, I was complaining. Honestly,
The sad
not
thing
gonna
is,
do
like,
it
you
again.
want to hear if you want to hear Robin sing like "Friend Like Me," and you ask a device in your house, whether it be a Google Home or a Alexa, we have those all over the place. I don't want to say it out loud. So if you ask that, you get this version. You don't get the original version ever because of the rights with Robin Williams. Robin
Very
Williams said
upsetting.
they can't use his stuff. They can't make money off him for 20 years past his death. That wasn't his will. So that's why you can't find those songs anywhere, which are better, I think, still, because Robin Williams is such a character actor, the way he played it, the performances, the multiple voices. And Will Smith tries to do that a little bit. And I think it works. I mean, like, if you can't have Robin Williams, it works. It's different, but it's same in a way because he's having fun, he's goofing around, but he's no Robin Williams at the end of the day.
No.
And the fact they're bringing them back.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly. He did not try at all to do anything like Robin Williams did. There was zero differentiation in anything he did, except for that he dressed up in drag for like 1 second for that ladies thing. That's the only thing.
I was going to say
that he
did do
did
that part.
That was remotely different. The rest of it was all exactly the same. There was zero emotion. He just played it all very, very flat. There was zero bit of him having fun and Robin Williams in there. I very strongly disagree with what you just said.
Guy Ritchie, if it's shot like a Guy Ritchie movie, honestly, it's very fast cuts. The action looks good. I mean, there's not a lot of action, but I think they did a good job with the visual effects. I think Jasmine casting was great. Aladdin, I think, was good. I think they were decent casting for them.
How about the Sultan was like 6 feet tall and like skinny as a rail? That was ridiculous. And Jafar was like a little short, like sort of round dude. Like it was very, like those two I think were very miscast. It was very strange for me to see the Sultan not be a little fat man, like who was all bubbly and hoo, like he was like, it was like he belonged on Homeland, that guy or something. It was very strange. He didn't. It was super weird. And Jafar was super weird, not menacing at all. Like it was terrible. That movie was terrible. And that girl from Saturday Night Live ruined it for me, who plays a boy Chuck or something on that TV show. I hate her.
Yeah, Jafar was by far the worst, just because you have an idea what he should be like. And that's where it comes down to casting too. They're like, okay, we're going to make it the Sultan. They went completely opposite, different kind of direction. I think they could have found somebody really good to play that part. That would have been fun. And they
should have Jeremy Irons come back for that shit. Oh, that was Scar. Damn it.
That was Scar.
I still would have taken Jeremy Irons, honestly. He fits the physical characteristics of Jafar way more than that guy did. It was so weird. The casting choices were really weird for those two.
This is one of those weird things I was just because I said it before, is I was surprised when I saw that Will Smith and Dave are the same exact age. They're both 54 years old, which is kind of wild. Like, they don't seem like they're the same age, but apparently they are, just because of how they're built. I actually think that, Dave doesn't look really that old, honestly, but the fact that he feels old is, that's a problem too, because he's supposed to be the action star,
Who the fuck is
And right
Dave?
now, Batista.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, that was like a huge non sequitur, bro.
We're very close. What? We're very close. Dave and I are very close.
You're muted, Jake.
Isn't that Bautista?
Yeah, Bautista.
This is different.
This is Bautista, yeah.
Gotcha.
Dave Bautista. But I was surprised that, they're like the same age, and then Dave is like talking about being old, and Will Smith's like, I'll never stop, you keep going forever. Lexi saying all the Disney live action remakes are awful. Yeah, they haven't been the best. You can't really capture that. I mean, I think they're okay, but you can't. The Lion King too. It's like not the same. It just isn't.
Terrible.
I think the best part of the Lion King remake was Timon and Pumbaa. They were fun. Billy Eichner was great, and Seth Rogen was
John
great.
Oliver was good too as Zazu.
Oh yeah, he's great casting. Great casting. But there's a lot happening with Disney, and the thing is, he's coming back. He's gonna be Aladdin. Unlike Dave, what I said before, Dave's like, but I'm gonna call him Dave now. Batista. Unlike Batista,
you're like, we're friends. You're like, oh, Monica's over there. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Give him a call. But Batista they're working on. Batista's been working on Dune 2 right now for HBO Max, actually, or for HBO. You know, originally the HBO Max version came out. They didn't bring it to theaters for Dune 1. They complained about it constantly. Well, that was a huge problem for HBO Max and for Warner Brothers. So because of that now, they decided to sell a lot of their shows or license their shows off to third-party streaming platforms in order to make revenue off of ad tier programming. So that's happening right now in the news where they've sold it off to Tubi and to Roku right now. So that's something that's happening. And with that, we're going to move into our next subject. I just want to talk about Tubi and Roku. So the thing is, HBO Max needs to make money. So like, okay, we're going to sell some of this content off. We're going to license it, I should say. We're licensing it off. These first two platforms, Tubi and Roku, said, hell yeah, let's make this happen. In December, Roku announced that they're going to be taking these on. So this is all moving forward now. It's going to be happening in the next few months that they'll actually launch new episodes or new channels where you can see Westworld, you can see The Bachelor, you can see Cake Boss, you can see Say Yes to the Dress, and also to F-Boy Island. They're all going over to these ad tier programs.
I can't wait for that.
I know. Roku's doing it. They're going to get 2,000 hours of on-demand content on Roku from Warner Brother Discovery, and they're going to be streaming it. They're going to make individual channels. Also, Tubi's doing the same thing. They're going to have 4 web-based programming platform channels they're making. They're going to stream all this WB content. Again, over 2,000 hours, 225 ad-supported VOD titles are coming over. We're talking about movies, TV shows, all of that. Wednesday, actually tomorrow, February 1st, Tubi's going to start launching their stuff. So they'll start actually updating some channels onto their programming, bringing this WB content for free. Just you have to watch the ads to their programming. So this is just the beginning of what WB is going to be doing with their content, licensing it off. Now it's just Tubi and Roku, but they'll probably eventually go to Pluto TV. They'll probably eventually go to Plex. There's a lot of platforms like that they can license this off and make some money on the back end because they lost so much money during that whole COVID lockdown situation where they said we're bringing all of our content right to streaming. So this is going to be happening. Some of the movies, too, that are going to go out there are it shows Raised by Wolves, Legendary, The Nevers, Finding Mike, and The Head of the Class, and The Time Traveler's Wife. So you'll be able to find these programs on Tubi and on Roku, and on Tubi starting tomorrow. So this is another thing that's happening in the news, where it's finally moving forward for Warner Brothers. They got to make some more money. It's like they're pushing this forward. Sabrina, you hear about this. Do you think this is a good move by WB Discovery to license your content off, especially big shows like this, where essentially now they're, getting a cut from these other third-party contents? Don't you think they should just, have their own ad tier base and just do it on their own platform, or do you think this is a good idea to branch it off other places?
I mean, I don't know whether it's a good idea or not per se. I do know that it's cool for people who can't afford to have 75 different streaming services to watch some shows, but like, I mean, you said big shows. I mean, it's like F-Boy Island. Like, who gives a flying fuck? Say Yes to the Dress. It's like a bunch of shit reality shows. Westworld is really the only thing worth anything on that list of stuff that you mentioned. And like, so I mean, yes, and it's the fact that it's on demand.
Nevers was a pretty big show.
Not for me. You can go on Roku or Tubi and watch it like on demand, which is cool. And I think it's great for, people, like I said, who can't afford to have 52,000 streaming services. That's great. I love Roku. I love, the fact that they do that. I love Tubi. I love that they do that. The Valley is on Tubi and Roku, by the way, also to stream for free. So I definitely support that. However, paying for HBO Max, if I want to watch Westworld, I would like to watch Westworld without fucking commercials, but you can't. You're going to have to go to Tubi or Roku to watch it. So I don't particularly like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I was shocked they were doing that too, because it's like when I first heard it, and it was back in December that they were actually talking about this HBO Max, and that's when it kind of came out. And it's like you're pulling all these big tier, high budget TV shows like Westworld and low tier stuff like you're saying, like the F-Boy Island and the housemaids, housewives. I don't know. They have a lot of weird
reality
shows.
Crap.
So the reality is, so you're pulling those off. You can't get them on HBO Max anymore. You would just think that you do like everybody else and just figure it out, because they do have an ad tier base coming out, or I think it might actually be out for HBO Max where you can have ads. So why not just keep your stuff out there? Apparently, like there's these networks like Tubi and Roku and Plex, like all these places, they do have a different kind of audience though too. So maybe this will branch these programming out. Of course, you're not getting any more new content from this. This is done. But then again, maybe these shows will find a new audience enough where they get a new season. Maybe some of these. I can't imagine these kind of networks, they're not really making big products like this. They're just licensing things, which is pretty much how they work. So I don't know. It's a weird move on their part, I think. Jake, you hear about this, right? And have you ever gone to Tubi or Roku before and watched any of their free content? And do you think it's a good idea to take premium content like this and branch it over to this different kind of media?
I don't. The platform I use is Apple TV, which I don't think they run ads on their stuff because it's a pay to play
they don't
type platform, and they kind of have their own thing going on too as far as production, which it reminds me a lot of the beta versus VHS tapes from the 80s, which is like there's all this content out there, but how are we going to get it to the market? Like how do we get it to them, right? So Roku and Tubi are kind of like the services that bring it to you. And then I was reading about it today, and I think it was Tubi is owned by Fox and Roku is kind of its own thing. So I don't know, when you look at it from the top down, and we'll talk more about this with another topic for tonight, is it kind of like from the top down, it branches off into all these little fingers of what's going on in the production world. And then depending on which one isn't doing well and which one is doing well, they end up merging them together so that they can stay alive. So it's a distribution of wealth from across the bottom so that it all comes up to the top, and then everybody who's involved is happy. So I think it's smart, but it goes back to the DC confusion. It's like there's all these options for consumers, and they kind of keep you there through a just enough confusion.
Yeah, but it's also messing up the brand a little bit though too, if you think about it, because it's like
it would be.
You see HBO and you're like, HBO, like why? If some people might subscribe and they want to go watch that old content and they can't get it now.
Yeah.
So that it's like, well, people might be pissed about it being someplace else, and they don't want to watch ads. Like Sabrina said, like who wants to watch ads sometimes if you're paying for a premium thing? Why are we doing ads now? But then again, like you're saying, maybe this will help thrive some of these different companies. Maybe they want to help the competition in a way and get a cut of that pie, because there's a lot of people that are going to these different channels because it's free, and they want to cut that ad revenue. It must be big enough that it makes them want to jump there and venture into that world. I can't
big
imagine.
Enough. Yeah, it's way big enough. I think before Fox acquired Tubi, they had over 33 million subscribers, or 200 million, something like that was the last figure I saw, was how many people were using the platform regularly. So it's a big chunk, and it's they're just like you said, they're spreading all their content. It's like the linear television that you pay for with cable is kind of exploded, and now there's all this stuff out there, and it's falling back into place, and they have to make sure that it lands equitably, and everybody who's been in the game for a long time is trying to grab as much of these pieces of pie falling as they can before it all stops. So
because that's the thing, you never know when it can give, and it's different now with Tubi and stuff. They have all these different live channels. It's almost to the point where you don't need cable, because you get all these free live channels as it is, and then you're just dealing with the ads. It's like taking out that middleman, that big company. There's like no need for it, and eventually it'll be gone because of this. And then maybe this is a way of Warner Brothers just getting into that, getting cut of that money. And the thing is, like Rachel just said in the comments, she hasn't watched Westworld. Well, unfortunately, now that it's pulled off HBO Max, you're going to have to do it with ads. That's just what it's going to be. That's the new world.
We were talking about how like all of these streaming platforms, you pay a monthly subscription, but how do they make up for the loss in ad revenue, right? If there's only money coming in. And Sabrina, you said they're making plenty of money. Like this isn't a thing, but now they have you paying for their service, and then they're going to throw advertising revenue in on top of it. So
Now they're
It's
making
kind
even
of
more money than they ever made before.
mhm.
Before it was just ad based. Now that you
Yeah.
have a guaranteed income, and on top of
Yeah.
that, you have ad based revenue as well.
Yeah.
Sabrina,
So they
you hear
threw
about
in
that?
like a.
They're
Sorry.
doing
Go
a
ahead.
whole nother level. No, it's doing
Yeah.
another level of profit, which is making sense. Like as a business, like that makes total sense. So
It
this is
does.
maybe what HBO is like. I'm gonna get this. We're gonna make this money. I mean, think about that. How many hours of content? To over 2,000 hours that are going to both platforms, and this is just the beginning. It's just the first two that are doing it. Their plan is to reach out to everybody and work something out. Everybody, so their content's everywhere, which is also making me wonder what's going to happen with HBO Max as they are merging with Discovery to make this new Max platform. Like, what are they going to do with that? You would think they would try to venture off in-house and make it all work in-house as opposed to going out. But then again, if they don't have to, this might be good for them. They're so in the hole right now. They need to make money. We're talking about HBO a lot tonight. We'll be talking about a lot about DC moving up too. But it's just to me, I'm just like I was fascinated by it. I'm like, oh, it's a whole different thing here. They're changing up the game, and we'll see where that goes. Honestly, they've been now Tubi and Roku have been dominating the ad tier service for years. But there's also a fellow competitor that I'm going to talk about right now that maybe they'll have to worry about because Paramount Plus is merging with Showtime. Now this is happening, and it's going to be a whole new premium tier that they're going to be bringing on Paramount Plus to incorporate into Showtime, and they're getting rid of Showtime in general, the streaming platform itself. And this premium tier is going to be called Paramount Plus and Showtime. Very, very hard name to come up with. They're like, oh, they had to think about that for years, didn't they? So they're going to cancel Showtime, and it'll be getting rid of this is why they got rid of Three Women. This is one of the reasons why they got rid of Three Women, another show called Let the Right One In, and American Gigolo. Well, they said that as Paramount Plus is merging, they're getting rid of content that was on Showtime. They're eliminating some things that they think just don't work now for the new platform. And like Three Women, which I brought up earlier in the breaking news section, that was something they were saying that it just doesn't work. And they just don't want to bring it out because it just doesn't work, even though they spent the money on it. It's done like Batgirl. They're like, it doesn't work for us. We're just going to shelve it. It's not coming out, and we're merging these two companies together, which Showtime's huge. And then Showtime has some great content. So moving that to Paramount Plus, they haven't said anything about the rates now. What it's going to be, of course, they say it's going to be a premium tier. I'm guessing the ad tier, which Paramount Plus has, will not have this content. I'm guessing you have to pay an extra money on top of it, or maybe they're just going to let you still have the premium tier and just gets included. I doubt it. I bet they're going to be charging more money with that too. Sabrina, you hear about this. Do you think this is a good thing for these two companies to merge? And do you think that it's going to work and thrive, or do you think that's going to be something that they're going to regret later on down the road?
I mean, I'm a fan of getting more for less. So, like, if you're paying $10.99 for Showtime, so that you could watch, let's say, Yellow Jackets, and you're paying $5.99 for Paramount Plus, well, now you can get them both for $11.99. So you're saving money, and you're still getting both things. My question is, if you have Paramount Plus currently, do they give you the Showtime part for free for a little while to see, like, or do you have to pay extra money? Like, how does that's my question. I want to know how that works. Because I feel like if, you give a free trial or whatever, I'm super down for that. And then they kind of force you to pay the extra money, so they're getting what they want. You're getting what you want. I'm sorry. So I think that would be smart. And yeah, I mean, it makes things cheaper. It's one less streaming service to have. It's one less bill to have. Like, it's like condensing stuff, I guess. So, I mean, I guess, it's a smart move for them.
Yeah.
And
I would
it
hope
could
that it
save
gets,
us some money.
yeah, I hope it gets integrated too well so that the people that already have that platform just get it as opposed to now we're going to charge you more. Or they're going to add, like, how Hulu does it, where Hulu has an extra fee on top of your normal thing and then you get that, which I could see them doing. And now it's just all in one platform and we don't have to worry about having multiple platforms, multiple apps. But hopefully for the consumer, it's actually a good thing and not a bad thing. Lexi say in the comments, YouTube got so bad they were charging $30 a month, which is insane. And you're still getting the creator ads, which was happening. That's what happens. And it's like, and that's why YouTube really, like, they tried making their own content, didn't work out too well for them because it just was too expensive and it wasn't what people wanted out of YouTube. And YouTube's trying to be something they're not a lot of times. But, YouTube is still a very good platform, and especially great for people like shows like this where you make your own content. Jake, You hear about this. What do you think about this merger? Do you have Paramount Plus or Showtime? Does this affect you at all? And are you like, whatever? Or are you like, oh, this is cool?
I don't have either one, but it's another interesting situation, like with Roku and Tubi, where Paramount, the parent company of CBS, MTV, Showtime, Paramount, it's all the same group of people that own everything. So this merger isn't really a merger of businesses, it's a merger of content, like you were saying. So
yeah,
they're going to group all the content together that they want to put behind a paywall, and I bet you pretty soon you're going to see all the content that will soon to be released on Roku and Tubi. So basically what they're doing is they're setting up their content that they want to keep, that's, what's the word for it? I don't know what the word is. It's there, but it's gone.
They're going to integrate it?
Yeah, no, that's not the one. Anyway, it's how much did we used to pay for cable? I don't remember. What was it? $60 a month?
Well, that was a while ago. Yeah, a while ago.
Something like that.
$60. Now it's like 120 at least.
Yeah, but then you have to add the internet on top of that. So here you are. It's like, okay, well, we can get rid of cable. So now you have to connect to the internet to get all this other stuff. But now, instead of just getting the shows and having to wait until 4 o'clock to watch your favorite show, you're paying $11 to watch it whenever you want to. So it's one of those things. What did he say for a price hike? And so it's from a business standpoint, I understand. From a consumer standpoint, like Sabrina said, it might suck, but it's going to merge some things all into one. But it's not like it's going to change the company's dynamic too much, I don't think, because it's all part of the same group. So
when Disney merged with Hulu, is it Disney Plus that's with Hulu or Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yeah.
When we merged that, we saved like $6 a month or something. So like it could be beneficial to the customer as well.
It could be. Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on how they structure it and how, you know what I mean? It depends. But with the Disney Plus merging with the Hulu and the Disney Plus. Super Hulu. Weird. I don't know why I said it that way.
Hulu.
But it saved us like $6 a month. And that's, it's $6, that's
good. Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
Right.
So if they do it, with the way that it's beneficial for both parties, I think it's good. Now, if they wind up raising it to $20 a month, then kindly go fuck yourself. So, it
right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, for everybody that has Paramount Plus, you have Showtime, you might be getting one network very soon, and hopefully it's cheaper. Hopefully it's better for the consumer. I mean, that's the hope I think we all put out there. You never know. Honestly, it like Sabrina's saying with the Disney Plus and the Hulu thing, it worked out for the consumer. Hopefully this does too. Then again, being a premium show, Showtime being a premium network, I'm not sure what's going to happen, honestly, because they've always tried to make people pay more for Showtime, like HBO before too. But this is a new world, so maybe it'll work out for the consumer, hopefully. But while Paramount restructures all their whole branding and they're, they figure this all out, their competition, Amazon Studios, they're developing a new process that could completely change the film industry. And what's this? Well, we've discussed this before, but this is something that I found very interesting when I saw today, that a new type of de-aging is going to be integrated here with Amazon. They're going to use it in a movie called Here. Robert Zemeckis' new movie Here. So it's going to have Tom Hanks. It's going to have Robin Wright in it. They're going to de-age them for a bulk of the movie, almost the whole movie. It's a new technology. It's the same kind of stuff they were using on, if you watch America's Got Talent, they actually used the singer to make Simon Cowell singing on stage. It's that same kind of technology. They're using it in real time. They're not having to do a bunch of visual effects post-work now with this. They just put it on, de-age the people, and it's just going to happen in real time on set as they're shooting the actors. Okay, this is pretty cool technology. And, they got it a lot from the guy who did Tom Cruise on YouTube. They got it from him, too. He's kind of been working with that technology, but it's amped up even more. And so this movie Here, it all takes place in a single room. And it's going to be using it's called Metaphysic Live. That's what it's called, the program in it. So I'm interested to see where they go with this. Now, the scary part about this, where it's going, is that the guy who's running the company, Tom Graham, was talking about how he's entering an agreement with CAA. All right, he's going to do a strategic partnership, they're calling it, where they're going to use services into CAA to try to get more talent to sign up so they can actually scan the talent and get CAA's clientele to DH for multiple movies. So this is something where they're going to actually reach out to the talent base. They're working on a deal with CAA to get multiple actors on board so they can start using this de-aging technology in multiple movies and start making old actors young again across the board. And this is opening up that slippery slope where you can make, like I've said before, where it'll be like, this is my comparing it to, who will be the first person that will be Tom Cruise that actually won't be Tom Cruise, because they'll be putting Tom Cruise's face on a younger actor and he'll live on forever in multiple Mission Impossible movies, and it won't be Tom Cruise anymore. And that's where the future's going. So you hear about this, Jake. What do you think? Do you think this is a good thing to use this technology to de-age these actors where it's so real? Have you seen, let me ask you before we get that, have you seen America's Got Talent this last season where they use it? They make Simon Cowell sing on stage. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild.
Really?
It looks like him. It freaked Simon Cowell out. He was like, he couldn't even look at it a lot of times. It's really crazy. It looked really good.
Really?
So that's happening. Do you think this is a good way of going with this technology, or do you think this is a slippery slope and it could cause a lot of problems in the film industry?
I think it could cause a lot of disdain for some of the older actors who have always been around. Move over and let somebody else play the part. These Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, these people, are they just going to be cast in movies in perpetuity now because they can CGI them into anything, and I imagine if they don't actually have to pay them to come and be there, it'll be cheaper for the film industry to cast these people, unless the families are very crafty and have great lawyers and they can, charge exactly what it would have cost for them to be there in the first place. So I think the technology is really cool, but I think it's kind of a misuse of the technology, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I worry about, like you're saying too, to disdain. There's also the issue of again, actors get older, they step aside, younger actors come into these parts. Now you're going to be taking away a lot of jobs from other people as these actors get older. And if it branches out into the fact where they can actually use their likeness later on after they pass away even more in a better way, then woof, it changes the whole industry completely. And it'll be harder and harder to become a named actor. It's just going to be really tough. Sabrina, you hear about this. What do you think about it? Are you worried about the future of film because of this? Or are you like, it's not a big deal?
I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me that well, first of all, that it's insane that those people that were on AGT basically got signed with like the biggest agency in the world and are now making a huge budget movie. Like, talk about a life change. But they are very, very talented and the technology is amazing. And that picture that you had up with all like the dots and the green shit, like you don't have to do that. Like I could just walk on set and be young Robin Wright and they just put like DH her face on my body.
It's a filter.
Like, it's crazy. Like, and it's very innovative and like very impressive. The thing is like, I would like mention Yellow Jackets before. There's like the younger versions of all of the girls, and then there's the older versions of the girls who survived. So like they're two different actors, and I love that show, and I think that all of the younger actresses portray the older actresses perfectly, and vice versa. Like they have the same traits, the same manner. Like they did an excellent job casting, and I think that you can successfully do that in something instead of using a fucking machine to change you and make you younger again. Like I understand if it's like for a flashback scene, but if it's like you're going to go through two different parts of someone's life, unless it's only a couple of years and not like long enough to cast another person, I think it's stupid. Like I think you should give someone else the chance to play that part for sure. But if it's like maybe 5 years before, I don't even know why you would need that. You could do that with makeup. Like it just doesn't make sense to me fully, honestly. Like I think that you're kind of playing with fire.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it also takes away jobs. That's the thing too. It's like, and it's
Absolutely.
also fun to see actors play other actors like that, like their interpretation of them. A lot of times I love it when you get somebody that's so good at playing that person. You're like, that's awesome. It just makes you feel good about like someone's craft and how great they are at doing their job, that they can actually embody someone like that, as opposed to we have to just, de-age people. To me, it's a slippery slope, and you're right. We're gonna lose jobs. There could be disdain, right? There's a lot of issues that can come with this, but they are moving forward. The fact that this company, like Sabrina says, amazing that they actually were able to take, doing it on AGT, and now they're able to be signed with CAA, and they'll be working with all these different actors, and it's just going to be interesting to see where this company goes and how it grows. It might be a time to buy stocks in this company, everybody. You heard it first on Kruse Control. That's all I'm saying. But it's gonna be wild for me. I'm not really sure how I feel about this de-aging tech. It's really changed the ways that that movies are being made, and the computer graphics have opened up new worlds of possibilities for film, especially in the superhero genre, which they couldn't even do a lot of times without this. Like, can you imagine Superman flying if you didn't have this CG, or like some of these big CG monsters we always say in all these big movies? They couldn't do it. You can't make these kind of events without computer graphics. And that's going to lead us into one of the biggest topics of the day and our featured story of the night. All right, everybody, it's time to get into our featured story. And we're going to take some time with this one because this was a big announcement we were talking about for weeks now. James Gunn finally came out and he is like, hey, it's time for Peter and I to tell our slate for the next 2 years of the DCU. Now, they announced 10 movies, or I should say 10 different projects. Not movies because it's a mix of HBO Max shows and theatrical releases. So we're going to go through them all, but I just want to first start off with what they said is happening, which we kind of know already. They're not changing these things. They're going to have Shazam come out, The Fury of the Gods, which we talked about, releasing on March 17th. They're going to have The Flash coming out, releasing on June 16th with Ezra Miller. There's some stuff I want to talk about that in 1 second. Also, Blue Beetle's coming out still. That's still happening, and they're saying these are all going to be canon. They're saying The Flash is actually going to reboot, and they've been saying this before, the Flash movie will reboot everything, but James Gunn said it right from his mouth. That's going to start the big reboot. Blue Beetle's still going to be in there. That's coming out. And then also Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will be coming out December 25th. So all these movies are still happening. They're still moving forward. James Gunn said that he freaking loves the Flash movie. And that's one of the things I want to talk about first, because before we get into the whole slate, here's what James Gunn said about Ezra Miller and the Flash movie and how they feel about Ezra and his progress, or their progress, I should say, moving towards the DCU.
When the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have the discussion, we'll all figure out what the best way forward is, added the DC co-boss. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery. And in our conversations with them over the last couple of months, it feels like they're making enormous progress.
Yeah, so with Ezra, it seems like they may have a chance to come back. And this may be just him shooting, smoke up people's asses. I don't know, or just being like, you don't want to say anything until a movie comes out, like we said before. But from what James Gunn is saying, Ezra might have a chance out of all these people. And we had Jason Momoa saying too, I'm Aquaman forever. So these people might come back, but the slate doesn't say it really. So let's get into the slate right now, because that's the big thing of today. We're talking about the first couple movies here, or the first couple projects. The first one is called Creature Commandos. Now, his whole lineup for this, James Gunn said, it's the DCU Monsters and Gods, or Gods and Monsters, he said. The first project, Creature Commandos, is a 7-episode animated series written by James Gunn. It's already in production. It's got a modern take on the team of monsters that were assembled to fight Nazis. And the voice of the characters will also carry over into feature films, because that's the whole thing he's saying. Is like he wants to make sure that these characters transfer over into the feature world too, which is great. If you're going to cast somebody to be a voiceover, use them in the movies if you can too. Like, make it all connect, which is what the problem with the DCU has been. They haven't connected at all like this. So he's like, we're going to connect that. We're going to make that happen. And on top of that, because we have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to say he's also saying that they're doing a Waller series, which is a spinoff starring Viola Davis. And it's written by Crystal Henry and Jeremy Carver. And this is going to follow her character from the Suicide Squad. They're going to bring in a lot of the Peacemaker characters in here too that will be working with them. So that's going to be happening. These are the first two that are series, which he said. Now the first one, the Commandos, I'm like, I don't really know. It's an animated show. It's going to be on HBO Max. Waller is also going to be on HBO Max, so we're starting off with 2 series for there. I'm kind of excited about the Waller one, but I'm also like, do we need Waller? Sabrina, what do you think? Do you think we need Waller? I mean, we were talking about this before, like, where's Peacemaker 2? Where's that, huh? Why Waller?
I mean, I don't know why Waller, like, and I was really excited for the second season of Peacemaker, so I'm kind of bummed. The thing is they listed like, I don't know, 10 projects like for
Yeah.
this 8 to 10 year slate, and not anywhere on that list is Peacemaker 2. And they said they were still doing it, but they were going to focus on Waller first, like as an in between, which, you know, is fine. Like she is also in Peacemaker, like very little, but she is basically the lead of the team that they all work for her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And also, interestingly enough, the Creature Commandos she also is in control of them. It's a team that she assembled, the same, it's like a Suicide Squad basically situation, but instead they're fighting Nazis, I guess. But Amanda Waller is also the person who's assembling the team of all these, you know, fucked up monster prisoner people. And I think that could be very interesting. So I think she will also be a voice in there.
She's fantastic.
Oh yeah, she's great. But like, and the thing is, Amanda Waller in the comics is completely different. Like we haven't really been able to get into her, even though she's played the character in 3 separate things, both the Suicide Squad movies and Peacemaker. We haven't really gotten into her with that yellow jacket and all of her crazy. So like, I think that the Waller series might explore that, and I think it would be fun. Like there's no one that's more skilled and talented as an actress. She could pull off anything. So I'm actually excited for the Waller series. I'm bummed that it's going to put Peacemaker on the back burner, but I believe that a lot of those characters are going to be in Waller, and then it will kind of be like Boba Fett was after Mandalorian in between the seasons. Like, even though it was Boba Fett, there still was a whole entire episode with Mando, and like, you know, other episodes that had him and the child in it, Luke Skywalker, all that. So I think it's going to kind of be that sort of a feel where it overlaps with Peacemaker.
And one of the saving graces here too is he's saying that this is just the first part of the first phase. So they might have Peacemaker on part 2, and maybe that'll come out, you know, in a year. They'll say something, you know. So this might just be like, this is what we're starting with, and maybe Peacemaker will start production.
This is very ambitious, if that's the case.
It's very ambitious. Jake, do either of these 2 projects perk your interest at all? The Commandos or the Waller series?
No.
Jake's like, no, keep going. He's like, keep going, bro. I don't see anything I like so far.
Your face is priceless, Jake.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just keep going then. Let's keep going, because maybe the next section, Jake will be like, this is great. So the big one that, you know, James Gunn said already before is Superman Legacy.
Sorry, I was muted.
Superman. Oh, you know, it worked out fine, Jake. It worked out fine.
Okay.
Do you have any? We'll get back to it. So Superman Legacy is happening. This is going to actually follow Superman working at the Daily Planet. It's actually going to be him being a news reporter. It's going to come out July 11th. This is one of the actual dates we actually got for a project, July 11, 2025. Gunn wrote it. Now they're saying that he might direct it, but also the rumor is that Ben Affleck might actually direct this too, which would be kind of cool, him directing a Superman movie. I don't know. They also said that there's also a show called Lanterns coming out. So just before I move on, Superman Legacy, of course, is a feature. So that's the first one that they announced. And then Lanterns is another TV show for HBO Max, a series about the Green Lantern. There's 2 different Green Lanterns. It's about Hal Jordan and John Stewart. And it's like I thought this was hilarious that they said that it's going to be like a cop show. Like they're going to be like intergalactic cops coming to Earth and like trying to solve problems on Earth. So it's going to take place on Earth, but it's really going to be a different kind of detective show, which is kind of one of those things, like a True Detective, they said it was, which is one of those things that they try to do, like take an HBO Max show and make it into a DC show. And how can we mend this? What kind of genre we can find? Well, cop show. Okay, Lanterns is a cop show. And there's also The Authority coming, which is another movie based off a wild storm of superheroes. There's no Justice League. You have actual different Justice League that's doing whatever it takes, kind of like Peacemaker, to get everything solved and taken care of, which I'm not really sure about The Authority. Jake, so far, what do you think about this slate? Is there anything that perks your interest out of the, was that 5 projects I've said so far?
Mm-hmm.
There were a few, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Waller, or do you think the Commandos or Superman? What's standing out to you?
Well, Superman's the only one that I've ever really heard of, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're saying like Waller, Peacemaker, Intergalactic, Sherlock Holmes. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out because it sounds kind of cool.
And the
I
Superman's
don't know. I
cool
feel
because
like
it's like him being a reporter, actually being Clark Kent. They haven't shown that in a movie
yeah,
since the Christopher Reeve days.
for sure. Yeah, and if he's supposed to be reporting back what we're all doing down here, it's kind of a would it be a take? Is it too far of a stretch to compare that to the Eternals, where they're like kind of like supposed to be influencing a little bit and making sure
Yeah.
we don't screw stuff up, but then he's kind of like he could be an Eternal maybe.
The
I feel
Eternals
like
is
the
terrible.
Authority
I
is.
don't want to draw any parallels to that shithole movie.
I
It's
feel
a
like the
what?
Authority is more. She doesn't want to draw any parallels to that because she hated Eternals. I really didn't care for Eternals either. It was okay. It was okay.
I haven't gotten through it yet. I've
Yeah.
watched like 5 minutes at a time every day for the last 7 months. When did it come out? I don't even know. Like I keep trying
November,
and I can
like
never
2
finish
years
it.
ago. You know?
Was it? Yeah, I can't finish it.
Yeah. I think it was 2021 it
Yeah.
came out. But this, GR
Yeah.
saying outside of Superman, it sounds lame. The Superman might be good. Of course, it's going to be a younger actor than when they've had with Henry Cavill. So it's going to be a younger actor, they said. So he's like in his late 20s. Gunn's writing it. It's actually going to be, working, which I think will be great. I think that'll be fun. They haven't announced any casting yet. This is just, announcing the series officially. And I kind of would like Ben Affleck to direct this. I think that could be good. It could be fun, if not Gunn, But Gunn,
What else
who knows? Ben Affleck?
What else has
You
Ben
seen
Affleck
Argo?
directed? No.
Argo.
Fuck yourself.
Great movie.
Jinx.
Jinx,
Argo,
I haven't
Gone
seen Argo.
Girl. He won an Oscar for directing. Gone Girl. He also starred in, and then Argo, which he won the Oscar for, and it was a spectacular movie. Maybe 8 years ago, you think, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while now, but he's been helming his own projects. Now he's got a project with Matt Damon. They got their own studio they opened that they're going to be bringing out more projects from too.
I did see
that Matt
something
will be
about
directing.
that. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
also directed Manchester by the Sea, I believe, with Casey
yeah.
Affleck was in it. I think he's directed a lot. He's very, very talented director.
It's a great movie. Yeah, but I mean, this Creature Commandos, I'm not sure about. It's a cartoon. It might be kind of like.
I think it's gonna be great.
It could be cool. It could be good. I'm just not sure about Waller. As long as the Peacemaker people come in, I think it could be fun. And she's great. Like I said, it's kind of funny that she's kind of the connecting tissue to the old world of DCU, and she's still slipped through the cracks. But James Gunn made a whole statement about Black Adam and about Henry and about Aquaman too, where he said that this is only the first phase, and we're doing this Elseworld thing. And they might pop up in there. They're not fired. He said they're not fired, which he actually clarified that, being like, they're not fired. They just don't fit into this first phase. And they might come back again in this Elseworlds world, which we'll talk about more in our next. Yeah. In our next stuff. But the next thing, I want to talk about the next few projects. The next 3 that he announced were Paradise Lost, which is an HBO Max series that's said to be a Game of Thrones style drama set in the world of Wonder Woman, and it takes place prior to Wonder Woman on the island where she grew up, where it's going to be about who ran the island, like the power struggle for who's in charge, and I guess it's going to be a cutthroat kind of drama. It kind of sounds interesting to me, like to go into that Westworld or that Game of Thrones world, and I could see it with Wonder Woman because it kind of has that feeling already, with the bow and the arrows and the like the medieval times almost. It feels like that could be cool. There's also The Brave and the Bold coming out, and this is their Batman movie coming out. And this new Batman movie is going to feature Damian Wayne, who is the son of Batman. So Bruce Wayne's son, who is going to be Robin, apparently he's been gone for 7 or 8 years. Bruce finds out he has a kid. He's like a samurai. He's cutting people's heads off and shit. He's apparently very brutal. That could be fun. I don't know. And then also the shocker, the Batman Part 2. Now, we've heard this back and forth that's happening, but this is going to be the Elseworlds thing. So they're saying there will be some projects like the Batman Part 2, which is moving forward. It's going to have an October 3rd, 2025 release date with Pattinson himself coming back. And also the Joker 2 with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. That's going to be Elseworlds as well. So this is how he clarifies like what is what. It's like those are 2 projects that are still happening in this slate, but they're not going to fit into this whole world. Those are separate, which I think is kind of confusing still too, to let that happen. If you're going to announce a new Batman and you're also going to release the old Batman too, it's a little bit contradictory, which Jake, we've talked about this before. You were like, that's not a good idea, right? Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying it looks pretty badass.
Well
though.
said.
Like when they talk
I
about it,
don't
to
know.
me it looks pretty badass.
Right.
Like you look at this, I got an image up right now. The image they released about they got Robin with a samurai sword behind Batman, and Batman again could be an older Batman. Of course, he's lost Dick. You know, he's lost Dick already. He's lost. That sounds bad when I say it like that.
I mean, it looks
Dick
like
Grayson. He's lost Dick.
we gotta take this down a peg because there's
Just
something,
not,
there's
we're
something going
talking
on
about
here.
puss yesterday, talking about Dick today. So we lost Dick.
Oh boy.
But this Robin is a badass. He kicks some ass. And it's also a family dynamic where it's like this is his actual son. And he's saying it's going to bring him to the Batman family. We're going to have an actual family. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into Booster Gold, too. I'm interested to see about that as well. But what do you think, Sabrina? Do you think this is a good Batman idea? And do you think they should be moving forward with Batman, too, with Pattinson himself?
Yeah. I mean, it's just weird to me that they, like, on the timeline of things, they have, like, the Brave and the Bold, which is his Batman, and then right below that they have the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson. Like, it just seems very strange to me that you're going to be circulating two Batmans at the same fucking time. Like, I'm guessing that the contract that they made with Matt Reeves is like that he had another movie and that they cannot take that off of the table. And they're also doing this Penguin thing, so they want to tie together that Elseworld. But I mean, it honestly does not make any sense to me that you're going to have both things going on at once. It's no secret that I wasn't a big fan of the Batman anyway, so I'm not really excited for that at all. This whole Damian Wayne Batman situation is something that hasn't been done before, and I think it could be really fucking fun and badass, and I'm here for it for sure. The Paradise Lost, which you seem jazzed about, seems like crap. I don't really know. The Lanterns also intergalactic Sherlock Holmes, as you said, Jake, which is hilarious. About that. I mean, there's not been one successful Green Lantern movie, or like Green Lantern has been like the shit show of everything. So I would really love if James Gunn could make it be something that's palatable.
I hope so too.
Right.
You know, I'm down for it if he can do it, but it's a very big challenge.
They got to bring Finn in. Finn was originally attached. From American Horror Story. He was originally attached to be Green Lantern. I'm hoping they still keep him on because he's a fantastic actor. He's really great human being. So hopefully, putting it out there for you, Finn, that you still show up in that. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the you know, it could be good. I'm saying the whole Wonder Woman thing could be fun if it's done right. And it's James Gunn, so I'm thinking it will. The other three that they announced, because we're getting close to the end of our show, Booster Gold, which Lexi was talking about in the comments. Booster Gold is an HBO Max series. It's based off a lower tier superhero, and he actually is from the future, and he has all this tech, and he goes back in the past, and he becomes a superhero in the past because he has all this futuristic tech. So it's not like he actually has any powers. He just has futuristic technology. And then he gets sponsorships, and people love him. It's going to be a good comedy, I think, for HBO Max. Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, this looks pretty cool too. It's actual Supergirl movie where she's been living on just a sliver, a rock of Krypton for years, just barely surviving, and she comes to Earth. So it's like one of those things where she had the worst life ever, and she's coming with this jadedness into the world that Superman's living with this ray of light. It could be very interesting. And then the last one is Swamp Thing. They're actually doing a movie based off Swamp Thing. And Swamp Thing, the last time we saw Swamp Thing was, of course, was on the CW show. But I actually like the CW show of Swamp Thing. I think it was done well. It just didn't have the following. It was on CW. You know, how do you get anywhere with that? It was actually, they put a lot of money into it. I thought it did a great job. It started off in the DC Universe channel and moved over to CW, and maybe that's what it was killing it, because that network didn't go too well. They should use Brian as Booster Gold. I would take Booster Gold fucking tomorrow. Let's do that shit. You know, coming from the future, give me some tech. Does Booster Gold shrink? I'm just saying. I don't think he does. Jake, do any of these projects perk your interest?
I get it. Yes, because I have clients who need jobs, and the more creative they get, you know, y'all are gonna get paid to go to work either way. So I love the idea of expanding and doing all these things. But now when it comes to me actually watching them and being interested in it, man, not so much. Some of it.
Nothing huge. Batman. Like, what's your favorite out of all this?
I think Batman but I'm basing it on the originals and Batman Begins. And then from that point on, it kind of, for me, it just kind of fell off. So if they can recreate that, you know, that level of I don't know what the word is, you know, that I lost. That's the second word I've lost today.
Oh no, it's there, Jake. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, that first Batman Begins, I thought, you know, that's one that sticks out just because I thought it was good.
Solid movie. And The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Everyone loves The Dark Knight. You too.
Dark Knight was good. Yeah.
Even though people say they don't like it as much, The Dark Knight Rises holds a special place in my heart, as I've said before, because I worked on it. So every time I watch that movie, it brings back some great memories. What a fun movie to work on, and fun to see Batman in real life. That's all I'm saying. I saw Batman in real life, and he walked towards me with that cape flying in the wind, and I had the biggest shitty ass grin on my face. And he goes, "Pretty cool, huh? Pretty the biggest, thickest, huge smile on my face."
Yeah. Thickest.
That throbbing smile on my face. And he said, "Pretty cool, huh, kid?" And I was like, "Pretty cool, huh, kid?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah." I'm just saying, I'm a big Batman fan. I'm a big Superman fan, so I'm really excited. And like Lexi said, Booster Gold I never really heard about, so I'm excited about this too, Lexi. James Gunn can do Booster Gold right, I think. It could be a lot of fun. It looks like they're leaning into the comedy here. Sabrina, is there, like, what's your favorite project on here? Is there something that stands out that you're like, that's solid gold? Or is it like, I'm not really sure about this slate at all?
I'm most excited about the Creature Commandos and Waller because I'm super excited about the Peacemaker crew, and it's like I already know what James Gunn has done with a lot of those characters, and I think it's brilliant, and I love it. Also, the writers are the dude who created Doom Patrol and the chick who did the Watchmen, so I think it's going to be really, really good. Now, aside from that, I'm really jazzed about this Batman and Robin situation, The Brave and the Bold, because it's something new. It's different, and I think it's going to be dope. Like to have like this family aspect to it. And now, last but not least, Lexi, I didn't know shit about Booster Gold, if I'm being perfectly honest. And reading all your comments, now I'm jazzed about it. I'm into it.
Yeah,
I can't wait for Booster Gold. Jake, we need to get Brian in there.
Yeah, come on, Jake. Booster Gold. I'm gonna put some. I don't know if I put some muscle on. I don't know what the hell I gotta do, but let me know. I'll start eating some steak tomorrow. Let's make it happen.
Good call,
I'll start reading for it. Yeah.
The comedy is great too. But the comedy is great, and that's what he's going towards. I mean, there will be, of course, the Batman movie is not going to be. Then again, you see the Batman Battinson movie. Of course, that's a very dramatic. So I think this makes more sense that their slate's more comedy and making this Elseworlds, because already when you look at the Battinson movie compared to what they're going to release, it doesn't seem like it fits into this world at all, right? It just doesn't. So I understand where he's like, this is Elseworlds. This is not going to be continuation of any of our stuff. I'm interested to see now more than ever what happens with that Flash movie, especially because James Gunn said it's like one of the best superhero movies he's seen. That's huge. And I hope it is really good, and it does make this slate even better, and it leans into the comedy and reboots this in the great way. I'm excited about this slate. I really am. The Batman one the most. Superman. Even though Sabrina's like not sure about that Green Lantern one, I'm excited about that. Like, you're talking about space cops, and True Detective, the first season was fucking great. If you get into that world, it could be a lot of fun.
It's like that has failed so many times. Like, I think if anyone could do it, it's him. But it's, I'm a little leery. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We already have that built into us because of how bad the Green Lantern's done it before in the past. Honestly, if you ask me, I really don't mind that Ryan Reynolds movie. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's a little cheesy. The special effects are really bad, but whatever.
Even Ryan Reynolds did not like that movie, just so you know.
He went back and watched it not too long ago for the very first time, and he was like drinking aviation gin the whole time. Total like, PR ad thing, which was fun. But you watch it, and then at the end, he had the actual ring on, the actual prop from Green Lantern. It was a lot of fun, and he's like holding it up and shit. But at the end, he's like, not bad. It wasn't horrible, but just because of when it came out, and it just didn't live up to what they wanted it to be. And that's what it was, It's all right. There are worse superhero movies. Trust me.
Oh, for
the original
sure.
Captain America movie, the 80s version, go back and watch that. It has some fun stuff in it, but it's a little rough.
If you think about it, not related to the Green Lantern thing, but like the fact that you said with the whole that they're bringing in a more comedic approach to all of this, which is like what James Gunn is so good at. But if you look at Marvel, which is their biggest competitor, like look at Thor, the original Thor movies, which is all like serious and
Super
broody,
serious.
and it did not do well. But then you look at like Thor Ragnarok, which did spectacularly, and he was like a totally different character. He was much more lighthearted, funny, cracking jokes. Like it was so much more successful. So like when they shifted from like the super serious shit to having it be more lighthearted and throwing in a little bit more comedy and charisma, it was wildly successful, And so I think it's smart for DC to be taking this turn as well.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing before we get out of here, too. The Swamp Thing, like, of course, it's weird. It's a weird choice. They are leaning into the monsters of DC, which they haven't done a lot before. They really haven't done that in the big DC universe. Of course, like I said, you had Swamp Thing on the CW, which if you go back and watch it, it's actually pretty good, I think, for a Swamp Thing interpretation. This making it a movie, maybe it's something where he's an established Swamp Thing to be a bigger villain, or maybe a hero at some point. I don't know. There's got to be some reasoning behind making a movie. I'm interested. I'm fascinated. Am I over the hill stoked about it? No, but I'm definitely it's perking my interest, I'll say, because I do like Swamp Thing. And the original Swamp Thing's fun. Even super camp, but it's fun, I'm Swamp Thing. He gets all these chemicals and falls into the swamp and becomes a creature. Like, whatever. Let's try it out. Let's see.
Camp thing that you say sometimes.
Super camp. That means it's campy. It means over the top, funny. Like, campy? It's not meant to be serious.
Oh.
Kind of like cheesy, on the nose type of.
Yeah. Think about you go to camp and you're just having a good time. Doop, doop, boop. It's all campy and cheesy. We're on the fire having a great time,
Gotcha. Heard.
Man Thing.
Understand.
It could lead to Man Thing for Swamp Thing, Lexi. You're right. But yeah, Jake, that's what it is. It's camp. Total camp. So when you see something that's camp, like Bruce Campbell, like Evil Dead, total camp, but it's fun. It's hilarious, It's a twist on the genre.
Yeah.
But that's the DC slate, everybody. That's the first half. That's what he's saying they're gonna do. We got Superman, we got Batman, we got actual Robin coming in right away, which could be cool because they've always been like holding back on Robin. You got a Supergirl movie, which I think could be a lot of fun if they establish her right. Maybe that'll lead into Supergirl and Superman bleeding in. We'll see what the second half brings. I'm guessing a Justice League is down the line, but I think it's not going to be right away. I think they're going to build this world and make all these new creatures and characters, and then eventually we get into the movies and we get them all rough and into it, and then we find out who the big bad is. That's the question. Who is the big bad? Maybe the Authority is. And maybe they become a big thing that the Justice League has to come take out. Only time will tell. But anyways, thank you, Jake, for being here. We appreciate you as always.
Thank you for having me.
Happy fucking Tuesday. Sabrina, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Also, we have 96 subscribers. We need 4 more to get to 100 by the end of the night. So please, subscribe.
Please. Subscribe. As we say, tell your wife, tell your kids, tell your husband, tell your boyfriend, tell your girlfriend, tell your little dog, Peppy or Mimi. Those are our dogs. They'll be on here if we get to 100 by tomorrow, which they're going to be here eventually. Tell everybody you can. Please subscribe, like the channel, join our Patreon if you can. We appreciate that so much. Thank you for being here on Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. Everybody, have a great rest of your night, and we will see you again. Actually, tomorrow we're not going to have a regular live show. Tomorrow we might do an afternoon show because we have a meeting tomorrow night. But we'll be back on Thursday for our regular scheduled program. And thank you all for being here on Kruse Control. Take care, and we'll see you later. See ya!